Sometimes, it is difficult to say what we need to. Even some simple things can be a threat in our conversation. You are going to see it here. 1. A grammar rule. 2. A text. 3. A question.
Before to check this, click on the bell icon and subscribe yourself to receive the other videos. Check it out. Now, let's dive in.
One. Irregular verbs.
This appears in this text, and it can affect your understanding. Do you want to know an easy way to talk and write this? Now, this is what grammar has to say.
1. Grammar explanation. There are approximately 184 irregular verbs. You don't need to learn all of them, because some of these are very rare, but many others are very useful and you do need to know them. What's the easiest way to learn them? Some people think you should learn a list by heart, others think you should not learn them at all. You will just gradually acquire them over time. One useful method is to note down new irregular verbs as you meet them. It is useful to write these verbs, or any vocabulary you want to learn, in sentences and learn those, rather than the individual word, which is easier to learn. Stuck a list of the forms of the verb, or I stuck the photo into my album. An application of the verb. Another technique is to classify the irregular verbs into 3 categories.
Now, check the text ahead and improve your pronunciation.
2. Afghans who helped the U.S. now fear being left behind.
Ayazuddin Hilal worked as an interpreter alongside U.S. soldiers on hundreds of patrols and firefights in eastern Afghanistan. He earned a medal recognizing his work, and an American commander also praised his efforts in a letter. But when he asked for one of the few special visas that would permit him to go to the United States, he was told no. Now, as American and NATO forces prepare to leave the country, he and thousands of others who worked with American troops are afraid. They fear they will be targeted by the Taliban. "We are not safe," the 41-year-old father of 6 said. "The Taliban is calling us and telling us, 'Your stepbrother is leaving the country soon, and we will kill all of you guys.'" The future of interpreters after the troop withdrawal is one of the many uncertainties surrounding the withdrawal. Will the Taliban return? Will women lose the rights they have gained? Will the country's security situation worsen and terrorist threats rise? Interpreters and other Afghans who worked for the U.S. government or NATO can get what is known as a Special Immigration Visa, or SIV. The visa program was created in 2009. It is similar to a program that was created for Iraqis. Both SIV programs have long received criticism. The paperwork is long, with security concerns slowing the process even more. The pandemic has made the whole system even more difficult. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said last month that the U.S. is committed to helping interpreters and other Afghans who aided the war effort. Many, he said, took great risks to help the U.S. The Biden administration has launched an investigation into SIV programs. Investigators are looking at reasons for the delays, as well as possible corruption and other issues. Former interpreters are becoming increasingly public about what they fear would happen under Taliban leaders. "They absolutely are going to kill us," Mohammad Shoaib Walizadeh said after joining others in a protest in Kabul. He is a former interpreter for the U.S. Army. At least 300 interpreters have been killed in Afghanistan since 2016. The Taliban have made it clear they will continue to be targeted, said Matt Zeller. He is a co-founder of No One Left Behind, an organization that works for the rights of those who aided the U.S. Army. He also served in the country as an army officer. The Taliban considers them to be literally enemies of Islam, said Zeller, adding, "There's no mercy for them." Members of Congress and former service members have also urged the U.S. government to fix the civ process, which now takes more than 3 years. State Department spokesperson Ned Price said last week that the U.S. Embassy in Kabul had increased employees to help with the visa requests. In December, Congress added 4,000 visas. That brings the total number of Afghans who can come with their family members to 26,500. About 50% have been given out, and 18,000 more have been requested. Critics and those who work with refugees said the need to help Afghans could sharply increase if the country falls into chaos. As it is, several warlords that were supported by the United States and NATO threaten the country's future, along with the Taliban. Afghan security forces are weak and poorly equipped to fight both threats. Noah Coburn is an expert on Afghanistan at Vermont's Bennington College. While praising the Biden administration's attempts to fix the system, he told the Associated Press he thinks the entire program needs to be rebuilt. If they are not willing to sort of rethink the entire thing, they are not going to actually start helping those Afghans who are most at need, Coburn said. He estimates there could be as many as 300,000 Afghans who worked for the U.S. or NATO in some form over the last 20 years. Recently, there have been killings of Afghan government workers, reporters, and others. The Islamic State has claimed responsibility for some of the deaths, while the Taliban and the Afghan government blame each other. Former interpreters have support in Congress, in part because many also have the support of former American troops. Walizada, for example, provided a letter of support from an Army sergeant who worked with him in many patrols, including one where the interpreter was wounded by Taliban gunfire. "I cannot recall a linguist who had a greater dedication to this country or the coalition cause," the sergeant wrote. At first, Walizada was approved for a visa, but then the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Service told him it had harmful information you may be unaware of in a letter he showed the AP. His visa was denied. Walizada has appealed the decision. I'm Susan Shand.
2. Words in this story. Interpreter. A person who translates the words that someone is speaking into a different language, literally, having the real or original meaning of a word or phrase. Mercy. Kindness that makes you forgive someone. Chaos. A situation in which there is no order. Warlord. The leader of a military group who is not officially recognized and who fights against other leaders, groups, or governments. Linguist. Someone who is good at learning foreign languages. Dedication. A willingness to give a lot of time and energy to something because you believe it is important.
Now, take this question.
3. Questions. Which one is in the present participle? 1. I have to be gone. 2. She has drunk the beverage. 3. They were beaten by Paul. Which one do you believe is right, and why? 3. Answers. 1. I have to be gone. Wrong. The past participle of to go is gone. 2. She has drunk the beverage. Right. The past participle of to drink is drunk. 3. They were beaten by Paul. Wrong. This is the past simple, and beaten is an adjective that comes from to beat and is part of the complement.
Which one do you believe is right, and why? Tell us in the comments. pretty soon, you will see what we have to say. Leave your comments about this video. This way we could know what you like and what we can do better to help you. I'll see you at the next one. Bye for now.